nominations. Okay.
Yeah, I guess some recent news about like what came out with the nominations we got and who was included, but more importantly, who wasn't included. And I think this week everybody's talking about Barbie.
I don't understand why. Like, my thing is, look.
Well, so like, well, let's explain to everybody what's going on
Yeah,
if they're not in the know.
So people are complaining that Margot Robbie got snubbed.
And
Why?
Greta Gerwig.
Gerwig. Yeah, Greta Gerwig got snubbed also. Snubbed. But they really didn't get snubbed. They still got their nominations for what they did. And realistically, I think the other people that were nominated for Best Actress were totally 10 times better than Margot Robbie. Now, for Greta Gerwig, I can understand why people are complaining about it, but at the same time, they also got nominated for the wrong thing. Like, this isn't what is it?
Best adapted screenplay.
Right. It's not a best adapted screenplay. This screenplay is an original screenplay, so that's what it should have been nominated for.
Well,
but it didn't.
But like we were talking about off air about this, I think because they put it in the best adapted screenplay category because Barbie has an established brand, story. There were TV movies about it, and so they're adopting an established, I guess, character, and that's why they're putting it in the big screen instead of putting it as an original screenplay.
Well,
I would agree with that.
This is like what I think, like how people are approaching this is just that it's, Barbie was the big phenomenon movie of 2023. People showed up dressed in pink. They were taking pictures just like in giant Barbie boxes, and they were showing up in our case when we watched it, we saw like a big pink Hummer show up with like
we did.
With people just clown carring it out just to watch the movie. So it was the phenomenon of the year. The Barbenheimer thing with Oppenheimer. It was the biggest meme of the year, like in terms of like how big of a movie it could be.
Right.
But just because, so I think by far it's the best-selling movie of the year as well in terms of box office numbers. I think it did like 1.5 billion in the box office, which is amazing. It's amazing, but especially for a movie that was directed by like an otherwise indie film director with Greta Gerwig, but and it was a great achievement for her. But big box office numbers and meme-worthy like event movie premieres doesn't equate to Oscar nominations. Just because it was this whole big thing doesn't mean it was the biggest movie of the year. Doesn't mean it needs to be nominated for an Oscar.
Correct. Yes.
Like Barbie.
100%.
In Margot Robbie's case, she's an amazing actress. Like she has a sick amount of range with everything she's done. Barbie with what she did with it was great. It was like an amazing role for her, but it wasn't her best.
Right. It wasn't anything special.
Yeah. I'm sure people can, look at other movies that she's done and point to like, hey, this was probably a better role for her than Barbie. Like, or she did this was a more groundbreaking role than Barbie,
Well, yeah. Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street? That was
I was
going to
say her role in Wolf of Wall Street. And that was like her breakout role too. I think to this day is still one of her best roles ever. Because end of the day, Barbie, she just had to act like a little bit of a bimbo, for lack of a better term. She had it, but it was on purpose though. It was the design of how the character was written, and that was the point of the story. Finding out what it means to be human, what it means to be like a woman versus a man, and like everybody's roles and everything like that. So it's that side of it is like, she didn't get the nomination for Best Actress. It's, there's a ton of other movies that did get a ton of other movies who did get these nominations that, you look at them, you watch them, and it's just like, I see why that they're nominated. Like if you take any of the nominations away, then it's just like, did they not deserve to get
exactly.
it? So yeah.
The fact that they're nominated for Best Picture alone is a win in itself.
Yeah, and
I don't understand why. That's mind-boggling to me because as much as I like the Barbie movie, I don't think it was.
So
Oscar
if it could somehow pull off the upset of the century, Margot Robbie could still win an Oscar as a producer on the film, and I think Greta is probably a producer as well, so they could still win the Oscars.
Well, okay, so I got the list right here. So since we're talking about actresses in leading role, right? So we have Emma Stone in Poor Things. Right. You got Carey Mulligan in Maestro. Sandra Huller in The Anatomy of a Fall.
Yep.
Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon.
That's my pick.
Totally
I totally
deserved.
agree
That's
with
my
you.
pick.
Yeah.
And then you also have Annette Bening in Naiad.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I've seen 3 out of the 4 movies, and I think all of us agree that Lily Gladstone should get it, but I think Emma Stone will.
I mean,
She got rave reviews. For
the
that.
thing is, too, is just that, I mean, like we said, Lily Gladstone is the obvious standout here. And it's like, you know, not only would she, if she were to win this, like, not only would she be the first Native American actress to win that award, I think she's the first Native American actress to be nominated for this award.
Yes, I believe
Yeah,
so.
she-
Which,
also, yeah.
in my opinion, is a much bigger deal
Yes.
than, you know, Margot Robbie getting something for, you know, like Barbie, as big as the movie was. So it's just like, you know, should you take this away from Lily Gladstone just so the Barbie fans could be happy? Like, you know, it's not about what the fans want. It's about what the critics say.
Correct.
You know,
that's what people fail to understand.
Right.
Because this is not a popularity contest.
Exactly.
Because if it was a popularity contest, the #1 movie of the year would be winning every single thing that they're nominated for.
I got 2 other big people that didn't get nominated. I was shocked that didn't. The first one is Leonardo DiCaprio for Best
Well,
Actor.
yeah, that's what I'm going to go into now. So, actor in a leading role, right? We got Bradley Cooper
Right.
for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. I think everyone is going to think that Cillian Murphy is going to win because of Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
That should be the
goes
winner.
without
That
saying.
should be the winner.
Right. Well, is it? I mean, did you watch Maestro? No. So we can't really say if.
But it's the kind of movie even though it was a Netflix film, and I think it got a limited release. That's the kind of film that usually gets nominated or acting performance.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that are saying Paul Giamatti should win it in The Holdover.
I was going to say, I feel like if it's going to come down to 2 actors, it's probably going to be between Cillian and Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti, yeah, I agree with you. Even though I think Jeffrey Wright is a phenomenal actor.
He is.
And
This is the thing, though, with Bradley Cooper is that I feel like, and I hadn't seen the movie, so I mean, I can't speak to the movie itself, but I feel like he and this movie were more surrounded by negative press around his prosthetics, if you know what I mean.
Oh, Lord.
Versus his actual, you know, like the actual movie, the story. And I'm serious. I'm being 110% serious. If that were to win, I feel like, you know, the Academy probably has in the back of their minds, like, yeah, we had to nominate him, but we really don't want to, you know, with all the controversy surrounding this movie and him, like, and like his, I guess, facial design. It's, you know, that could cause more controversy.
well,
And I'm sure they don't want that either.
he played an
but
older fellow. You gotta make it look like.
well,
he's
he
little
played a
older.
certain. No, it wasn't that he was older. It was that he was like, you know, of a certain background, and he had to be given a certain look. And then it was, you know, that's what made the headlines
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
movie. Not, oh, he performed so well, or oh my God, Maestro was so good. It was you know, this is
I agree.
a problem because of how he looks.
To his
know?
credit, and we could do another video about Maestro, but real quick, this was his personal baby on his personal project that he developed, co-writer, director, and star, and he actually sat down with the kids of the Maestro himself to get their blessing.
Really, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah, I
pretty
saw
kinda cool.
I saw an interview, the director on Director series that Variety does on YouTube. He just talked about how, you know, he worked with, you know, he worked an actual conductor to get the motions right.
Right. Well, I mean, you're an actor. You need to be able to do these things. He was studying. But you brought up about Leo being snubbed. Tell us, what do you think?
I think he should have been nominated for leading, as you know, I think he should have been nominated for Best Actor for his role in Killers of a Flower Moon.
Okay, so I'm going to go back at you now with something else. Who would you take off the list to put Leo in?
So you had
Bradley Cooper, Coleman Domingo, Paul Giamatti, Cillian Murphy, and Jeffrey Wright. Who are you taking off? You see how hard it is to pick who the Best Actor nominations are?
okay.
We'll move on. You can think about it. We'll get back to you on that. Okay. So, actor in supporting role, right? We have Sterling Brown for American Fiction, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things.
And award was this for?
Supporting actor.
Oh, supporting actor.
Give it to RDJ.
Yeah, I mean we're not just saying that because we're Oppenheimer fans. I mean, like that was by far his best role since Iron Man.
I will agree, but do you think that he did a better job than Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon?
I would say so.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
Robert De Niro put on a really good Southern accent, and he made me hate his character because
I
his
despise his character.
was such an asshole and like he
Yes.
was the most evil person on earth. But
He was playing a real life villain.
I mean,
Right.
Robert Downey's character also like was a piece of shit who you were trying to root against him, and
Okay.
the way he was performing and acting his role, his lines and everything was just really. It got me more than I'm gonna blank out on his name for Killers of the Flower Moon.
Leo?
No, not Leonardo DiCaprio.
De Niro?
De Niro, yeah. God damn. Oh my goodness.
No, but-
so many names. I'm just
Yeah,
like, my God.
It is. But do you think he played better than Ryan Gosling as Ken?
That's a whole nother story. Well, he got his nomination for Best Actor.
Right.
And I guess that's part of the controversy with Barbie too. I don't know if we were just talking about Barbie or everything else, but like, yeah, I think that was another part of the disdain towards like Greta and Margot like not getting their roles because Ken got his nomination over Barbie.
Right.
And like it was almost like a parallel to like what the whole Barbie movie was about, that the patriarchy always wins no matter what.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and again, I mean, like it's not to take away from the nominations that were actually there because it's like what Ken, the character of Ken was like beautifully done by Ryan Gosling. So it was just.
But is it? That's the question.
It was hysterical. He was like he was great. He was funny. Like his songs, he did perfectly in. Like it was I'm not saying he didn't deserve it. Like
right, but do you really think that him playing Ken is Oscar worthy? I personally, no, I don't think so.
I agree with you. I mean, it was a great performance. Don't get me wrong. It's just the fact that he's nominated for an Oscar.
It's crazy, right? It's crazy. All right, so let's move on to actress in a supporting role, right? We got Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks in The Color Purple, America Ferrera for Barbie, Jodie Foster for Nyad, and Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers.
I think Florence Pugh should have gotten.
no, oh my God.
Not
Tell us why, Pancake.
she played.
For Oppenheimer, no.
Her character played a huge role in the character in real life and in the movie.
Compared to Emily Blunt, no.
Right.
But
Like,
that was his love before Emily Blunt.
but she was in and out. Like she
Yes.
had 2 scenes.
She kept.
like
It was more than 2 scenes. There was
4.
he still continued the affair well after he was married. He went running back to her. She was a big part of his past. The party with the commies.
No, but you got to think about this. Like they had like their sex scene together and everything, but like most of their interaction was just sitting across from each other, just
Right. It
talking,
wasn't
or
anything-
standing across from each other, just talking,
Yeah, it
and,
wasn't
and,
anything
and
special.
exchanging ideologies. Like there wasn't anything groundbreaking
Right.
Emily
with what
Blunt-
Florence did. Like,
Okay, I'm in the minority on this.
Yeah.
But Emily
I'm
Blunt
not attacking you. I'm just saying. Like
and Emily Blunt was great too. She deserves the nomination as well. And actors being from the same movie being nominated in the same category is nothing new. It happens all the time.
Right.
Yes, but I don't know. I feel like she deserved. I thought she was
okay,
possibly.
let's do this. Go through that list one more time.
Emily Blunt, Danielle Brooks, America Ferrera, Jodie Foster, and Davine Joy Randolph.
Okay, so like right off the
Who
bat,
would you remove?
America Ferrera is like she was amazing in Barbie.
That's what I'm saying.
And Jodie Foster, even though I didn't see the movie, I watched like the trailer and like I watched a few like interviews about it, about Nyad. She did really good in that. Like she seemed really great in that, and it's Jodie Foster, So it's like you can't like look at like dismiss like their performances just
Correct.
because Florence Pugh like did she did do a really good job in Oppenheimer.
Look,
but
we know Oppenheimer is going to be great across the board. I just feel like this should be I feel like she should have been included.
she'll get an honorable mention.
That's it. All right. Moving on. Animated feature film. You guys ready for this?
Oh, I already have my thoughts on this one.
Okay, here we go.
through
So, The Boy and the Heron, Elemental,
it. Yep.
Nimona,
Yep.
Robot Dreams,
Okay.
and probably the winner of this, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
like the first movie was.
So
Yep.
yeah, two things. One, it goes without saying that Spider-Man Spider-Verse is going to win this. But what is irking me more is what's missing from this list, and it's very clearly Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
Really?
Do you really
That
you
had
really
to be
think
there.
so?
Absolutely. It was, first of all, it had like its own spin on the Spider-Verse animation style. Like I thought it was like the hand-drawn style, like the backgrounds, the shadings, it was almost like a stop motion animation type of like thing. It looks similar to Spider-Verse, but it had its own style completely. And it just worked for this retelling of this, like, yet again, or another retelling of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles story.
I agree.
So,
I would literally remove Nimona because I've seen Nimona and I didn't like it, but I would remove that movie and put in.
I'm fine with
TMNT.
that. I didn't see Nimona, but I am totally fine with that.
Look, like we mentioned in our previous reviews at the time, it was definitely a lot better than I expected because we headed into that movie not knowing what, we didn't have the highest expectations, but yeah, granted it was really good, way better than what we expected. Just the fact that it worthy of an Oscar, I'm not too sure.
All right, so let's move on to directing, right? We have Anatomy of Fall for Justin Trait, Killers of the Flower Moon with Martin Scorsese, Oppenheimer with Christopher Nolan, Poor Things with Yorgos Lanthimos, and The Zone of Interest with Jonathan Glazer.
It's gonna be Oppenheimer. It's gonna be Christopher Nolan.
definitely, yeah.
I mean, Martin Scorsese's the clear second, but
I have a question. How come Napoleon was not nominated?
I mean, watch our review and you'll see
there
exactly
you go.
why. That's
Link down below.
Yeah, I'll remember to put the link for that. But yeah, I mean, Napoleon. That we were expecting that to be like the the mega director trifecta alongside Martin and Christopher Nolan. But Napoleon just didn't stack up to the other two movies. It was a disappointment. We were definitely expecting a lot more from that.
I agree. I agree. All right, so we're gonna move on because there's way too many. And listen, guys, there's way too many.
Yeah, we'll do the last significant one. And then we'll move on.
How about Best Picture with American Fiction, Anatomy of Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killer of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest.
It has to be Oppenheimer. Come on,
Now,
man.
so this category is
Best Picture.
Just Best Picture.
Best
general.
Picture.
Okay, and yeah, in that case, it's gonna be Oppenheimer. I mean,
I don't know, man. I feel like Barbie might win it.
No,
I don't agree with it.
No,
But
no,
I feel like Oppenheimer and Barbie, it's going to be another Barbenheimer where they're going to be like, "Ooh, which one is going to win?"
the thing is, though, this is Barbie's problem, and this is another thing that we said in our review. At least I think I said it. At least is that my problem with it was that it kind of like let things go towards the end of the movie, like the third actor and like the fight scene and everything. Things kind of like unraveled a bit, and it just kind of like there was a tone shift towards the end too that was kind of jarring. It was a great movie, had a great aesthetic. I love the style that Greta Gerwig went after with it. It didn't go after the kid demographic. It went after the adult demographic and knew like who it was going towards. It was a great movie, but you compare it to like something like Oppenheimer that just checked off every single box of greatness, and like Christopher Nolan, this had to be his best movie, and it just doesn't quite stack up to it. It definitely does. Barbie definitely deserves the nomination.
If there's a movie, yes, I know we didn't see all the movies that got nominated for Best Picture, but if there's one movie that has a shot that could pull off the upset of Oppenheimer, possibly Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys probably the second last one we're going to talk about. Visual effect. Okay? So, ready for this? The Creator, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Napoleon, and Godzilla -1.
Godzilla -1 because of the limitations of budget that they had.
I agree with you.
You know what?
But this nomination is for visual effects, not for, hey, we spent only $15 million to make this movie.
That's my point, is that it looked like this got nominated for a reason. It looked better than pretty much everything that we saw this year, especially Marvel. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy was probably on a higher tier in visual effects than maybe something like Quantumania and the Marvels. But you know what? Like then we watched Godzilla -1 and we were like, what is Hollywood doing? You know, I mean, like the scene where Godzilla's attacking the city. It looked like he was really there. Like, you know, it wasn't perfect. There were certain scenes that looked like, okay, like here's where the $15 million budget came in, but it looked so impressive and it absolutely deserved its nomination. But I think, you know, with everything behind it, I think it deserves the win.
Guardians for Mission Impossible is going to take that award.
Either or.
Either or.
Yeah, that motorcycle jump will go a long way, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, it was practical.
Yeah, that's a visual effect, man.
Yeah.
In the day of over CGI reliance, I think that deserves its recognition for that. But
Napoleon was a pretty visually great movie. I mean, I said that in the short. I said that movie was so visually perfect.
It had its great war battle scenes, but
it was so boring.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, all right.
Moving on.
All right.
Last
moving
one.
on to the
Last
last
one.
one. Writing. Adapted screenplay. We are going with American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest.
Oppenheimer takes this one too.
You really think so? Nope. I think Barbie will.
but it's not. All right.
Yes, it's not an adapted screenplay. It's an original screenplay, but that's what it got
It's
nominated
an
for.
adapted property, I guess
Right,
you could
yeah,
say.
you could say
like,
that.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I have to watch the other movies in this list, like Poor Things, but I have a feeling Poor Things might take it because Poor Things is actually based off of a book, right?
Oh, really?
Is it?
I'm not sure.
I think it is. So it's like everything else, like Oppenheimer is based off of a book, but not
But real life also.
like like it took like its own direction with it. So I would actually think Poor Things has a decent shot at winning like an adapted screenplay
Possibly.
because it might be the most like 1-to-1 from the original source.
Sure, I'll go with
Yeah,
that.
well,
I'm not
yeah.
sure. I'm not sure. So, listen, these are our thoughts. Let us know down low what you guys think. Oh, and pancakes. Before I forget, did you figure out who you're gonna remove for Best Actor in order to put Leo?
Oh man, just name it. Just say what was the list one more time?
I think the point has been made.
Yeah, exactly. So, with that said, guys, let us know down low what you guys think, and yeah, that's pretty much it.